Jamisha Mubin, the suspected suicide bomber, was an engineer by profession. Initial claims of a cylinder blast in a car, they fall flat because of multiple reasons. Mainly, his WhatsApp status. He writes, and look at what he's written. There's a Khilafa GFX symbol, and with that Khilafa GFX symbol, he writes, and I quote, "If the news of my death reaches you, forgive my mistakes, hide my shortcomings, participate in my janaza, pray for me." Unquote. So was the target of these radical Islamists the Kottai Eswaran temple in Coimbatore? Was this a lone wolf or a small module attack, or was this a part of a larger conspiracy by radical Islamists to target a Hindu temple and devotees ahead of Diwali festivities? On India First, we scoop out exclusive details of the evidence gathered so far. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started with the headlines on India First. Arvind Kejriwal's bizarre solution to the falling rupee, with months to go for Gujarat elections, makes a fresh Hindutva push with a pitch to place Lord Ganesha and Ma Lakshmi's images on the rupee. Khadge era begins in the Congress, takes over as Congress president in the presence of the Gandhis. Sonia Gandhi says she is relieved to relinquish the top post in the Congress. Fight between Kerala governor and state chief minister intensifies. The governor asks the chief minister to sack the finance minister for allegedly saying those who come from places like Uttar Pradesh may find it tough to understand universities in Kerala. It's a free run for Gurmeet Ram Rahim out on parole. The Godman renames his adopted daughter Hanipreet to Ruhani D. This a day after he released a new video. Rishi Sunak takes charge, faces opposition fire in the first Q&A session in the UK Parliament, says economic stability is at the heart of his government. Opposition slams him for controversial new cabinet. There are many unanswered questions at this stage, including about the suspected suicide bomber Jamisha Mubin in Coimbatore. He was the man driving the car. So was Mubin actually a suicide bomber? Where was Mubin, an engineer by profession, radicalized? And who radicalized him? Was this a lone wolf attack? Or did Mubin have handlers, whether in India or even overseas? Did the explosions take place before the car laden with explosives, before it could be parked outside the Kottai Eswaran temple in Coimbatore? What is the role of the 5 others that have now been arrested in this case? Had they carried out reconnaissance outside other temples too? Multiple questions. We explore answers on India First.
Days after a cylinder blast rocked the city of Coimbatore, the revelations tumbling out based on the investigation all point to a deadly terror plot. This is the moment when the car with the cylinder went up in flames on Sunday morning, and one person, Jamisha Mubin, died in the explosion. But he is no innocent. Mubin has been identified as an accused as one of those who was plotting multiple attacks in the city of Coimbatore. Sources tell India Today that a note was recovered from Mubin's residence which had a list of prominent government offices and public gathering areas. Raids were conducted in several locations of Coimbatore at the residences of the 5 accused, along with properties linked to relatives of the accused. Links between the 1998 Coimbatore blast, in which 58 people died, And this cylinder blast is also being probed as some of the accused have been linked to the convicts of the case.
The police have also identified that 3 of the 5 people have gone to Kerala, meaning gone to Kerala to a prison called Viyur, where people like NIA suspects have been lodged, and these people have attempted to meet 2 people as per sources. One is Amjad Ali, and the second one, very important person called as Mohammad Azharuddin, who is said to be in contact with the Sri Lankan Easter Sunday suicide bombing.
An NIA team has touched down in Coimbatore, tracking all developments closely. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin also chaired a meet, taking stock of all the updates in the investigation. But the BJP has slammed the DMK regime, questioning why CM Stalin hasn't uttered a word on the blast so far.
Our state president has requested that the investigation has to be handed over to NIA. It is because of the minority vote bank politics. The chief minister is not making any statement and he is not coming here.
Locals are on edge in Coimbatore as details tumble out of the deadly terror plot that these 5 accused were hatching. Multiple appeals for peace are now pouring in from prominent groups.
Caste, creed or community doesn't matter. The police and the administration has to take a no-nonsense attitude in this way, and that's the thing. We are totally in support for all these things. That's it.
A city that was rocked by serial blasts in 1998 has been once again cast in the shadow of terror, raising questions as to what exactly had happened in the past 24 years. All eyes are now upon the probing agencies who have now cracked a whip on this terror plot. Vivian Daniel, Pramod Madhav, Point yesterday.
Many questions. Was this a suicide attack gone wrong? Was Jamisha Mubin a lone wolf, or is there a much bigger radical Islamist module? Why are we saying this? The son of the 1998 blast convict has also now been arrested. The father was involved, according to the police, in the 1998 Coimbatore blast, and more than 58 people were killed that time. How long were these people operating under the radar of the local intelligence unit in Tamil Nadu? Joining me on India First, Sai Kiran Kannan. He is our open source intelligence contributor. He scooped out details of the investigations and the evidence so far. Dr. Vikram Singh is former Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police. He is one of the most authoritative voices on counter-terror operations. Pramod Madhav is India Today's ace correspondent on Ground Zero. And Pramod, I want to come to you first. The NIA is now in Coimbatore. Is the NIA line of questioning the same as the Tamil Nadu police? What do initial investigations indicate? Was Mubin actually a suicide bomber?
Well, it's been 4 days since the blast occurred, and this is like after 4 days and after having a conversation with senior top leaders, the Chief Minister has gone ahead and now he has recommended the case to be handed over to NIA. However, whatever questions we put forward, it looks like the Chief Minister has also got the same questions currently, because he's trying to give an answer stating the reason for handing this case to NIA is because it looks like this is beyond the state's boundaries, dimensions, and also possible foreign connection. We did speak to Balakrishnan, who is the Commissioner of Coimbatore, and we sought the answer from him asking if the Chief Minister meant foreign connections by looking into ISIS modules or Easter Sunday bombings. That way, any kind of modus operandi.
Okay.
The only answer we could get from the authorities is that they are investigating it. However, senior officials Vandana and Srijit from NIA are already in Coimbatore, and they have gone to various locations along with the local police. Even though the case hasn't been transferred to NIA so far, they are on the ground and they are looking into the matter.
Stay with me for a moment. Sai Kiran, suicide bombing gone wrong. Is this what emerges from evidence that you've been able to glean through, especially on open sources?
Yes, Gaurav. We can probably not 100% confirm that he was intending to, blow himself up, along with the cylinders, because there could have been a possibility that, he could have tried to, trigger the cylinders from a remote location or something, because he was, and even the location where he was supposed to go is probably not that temple. Many sources tell us that it was another temple called Koniamman Temple in Coimbatore as well. But because this area near Ukkadam, it's a very politically sensitive area, and it was the eve of Diwali. There were a lot of checkpoints there, so he had to stop, and there was a lever that came out of the cylinder, and he was trying to fix it, and it just blew up. So we cannot probably say it was definite that he was going to blow himself up, but it was definitely something that has a lot of terror angle to it.
Okay, Dr. Vikram Singh, the son of the 1998 Coimbatore blast convict, Nawab Khan's son, Dalka, has now been arrested. Terror, it seems, it would appear, at least prima facie, runs in Nawab Khan's family. If the charges were to be proven in a court of law, does this indicate, sir, that this is a very alarming situation in Coimbatore?
Absolutely, Gauravji. It should not come as a surprise that the person who was so radicalized and so bloodthirsty that he perpetrated the 1998 blast, and then also the ramifications of Colombo Sunday Easter church attacks, and these are closely intertwined. Mr. Saikaran has come out with very authentic and credible facts, and they cannot be dismissed or brushed underneath the carpet. This is indeed something very sinister and something to be absolutely concerned about. I wish the Kerala police, one of the most, the Karnataka police, and also the Tamil Nadu police.
Yes, sir.
They are very professional police officers. There was a greater degree of coordination and cooperation. But what is missing is the cooperation, the coordination. The Tamil Nadu police, again, known the world over, not only in India for professionalism, but in this case, they have been caught on the wrong foot. Why have they caught on the wrong foot? To try to play down the incident. Nobody is saying that it is an ISIS propped up terrorist attack, whereas it is certainly a terrorist attack. What was recovered, as you very rightly mentioned, ball bearings, iron nails, marbles, and shrapnels, they are indicative of the fact that it was not just firecrackers, it was something very planned to execute a large-scale damage, killings, and the killing area could have been very vast. Then the recovery of the Khilafa GFX note is indicative of the fact that he wrote, presuming that he would die in the incident, inviting people for his last rites and also to be forgiven. These are the words of a person who's preparing to go to the other world, and therefore to brush it underneath the carpet is nothing but chopping at my own roots. This is best avoided. I'm happy, as we discussed yesterday, Gauravji, that the NIA sooner than later will take up the case, because the ramifications are far too be serious to be entrusted to any agency which would like to underplay the incident, rather saying that it was a low-intensity blast.
Okay, you're absolutely right, sir. And you were right that NIA would take over this investigation, and it seems that they will. Pramod Madhav, do we have details? How long was this module planning this? How long were they operating under the nose of the Tamil Nadu police? Any details of the functioning of this entire module? So this Mubin is dead. What about the 5 others who've been arrested, including Azharuddin, Dalka, and the others?
Well, Gaurav, on this particular thing, we can very clearly mention that even from back to 2019 onwards, they have been under the NIA radar. That is Azharuddin, Firoz, Riyaz, Nawaz and Dalka. And as we spoke to the police, they claimed that Dalka was the actual vehicle belonged to Dalka. Dalka has earlier stated that he has sold the vehicle to Mubin, but cops are not ready to accept it, and that's the reason he's also been arrested currently under UAPA charges. In fact, as we speak, we've been informed that the police was going to take custody of them in the next 3 days after producing them in front of the magistrate. And the intensity, because it looks like from the house of Mubin, cops have recovered 75 kilos, not 10 or 20, but 75 kilos, a total weight of potassium nitrate, sulfur, aluminium powder and charcoal, and not just that, nails and marbles. In fact, I'm carrying one of the nails from that area. We took it from that area actually, and this is one part of it. He has also, which means this has been going on for a very long period. It was planned properly. We spoke to officials trying to find out what was the trigger mechanism. Was it trying to create a big kind of like a bomb with just a kind of like an electric mechanism as a trigger or so? They are not ready to provide any explanation. But this residence of Mubin has been raided multiple times. When we asked him how is that a person could go ahead and buy 75 kilos total weight of these chemicals which are not used normally by any person, They said that he has bought it in small compounds, mostly through online process, and he has stacked them up. So it looks like,
Imagine how
the way
long was this
it looks
planning
like
going
more
on?
and more operations of such kind to cause terror was also on his plan.
Okay, Sai Kiran, what does the WhatsApp status of the deceased suspected suicide bomber indicate? Mubin, apparently, as Pramod Madhav has just been able to tell us, that he was collecting explosives for quite some time in small quantities that it reached 75 kilograms. And I want to quote to you what his suicide or his WhatsApp status says, and we put it out for the benefit of our viewers. If the news of my death reaches you, forgive my mistake, hide my shortcomings, participate in my janaza, pray for me. Does this not indicate he knew he was going to die?
Yeah, yes, Gaurav, and there are a couple of things with regards to his WhatsApp status. Firstly, it was in Tamil, and what it was also was, it was custom designed, so it was not just a mere textual status. So he probably had planned every single aspect of this entire operation. So even the WhatsApp status was graphically designed and custom designed. Secondly, yes, the messaging is very, very clear. It's very important, very poignant in the sense that, he probably knew what he was doing, and it was a very high risk business that he was going to undertake, and there was every chance that he could possibly lose his life in the due process. So I think this is a very significant, update in terms of, the evidence gathering.
Oh, absolutely. That man you see, that picture of that man you see on your television screen, Jamisha Mubin, the driver of the car who was killed in the blast, was he a suicide bomber, and why? Dr. Vikram Singh, you've seen that WhatsApp status. Does that indicate Mubin was actually planning a suicide attack by calling it a cylinder blast? Are we playing with fire at multiple levels? First, the Tamil Nadu police did not know about this module, and then by calling it a cylinder blast and not a suicide attack, are they compromising security of our people?
Gauravji, to a very great extent, yes, they are compromising the security of Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore and the nation. To brush this underneath the carpet is nothing but quoting the recipe of disaster. I wish Tamil Nadu police is a very professionally competent police force. I, for one, would not like to believe unless there is tremendous political pressure to underplay and dilute the whole issue. And as one of your panelists mentioned, 75 kilos is not something that can be smuggled in one's pocket. And yes, as the ISIS operatives and also the ISI handlers indicate, become a homegrown terrorist, get from the local grocer or from the local scrap dealer, get every ingredient, get them home delivered from all means, so that you do not under suspicion. And if a recovery is made, you can always say, this is for something for house repair or something. Ammonium nitrate, sulfur, iron nails, marbles, individually they would be innocuous, but in 75 kilos, they are absolutely incendiary and lethal, to say the least. And then what came on the WhatsApp and that pedigree, you go to 1998, the Coimbatore bombings and their association with the likes of Azharuddin, goes to show that there was a massive plot. He was certainly not a lone wolf. He had a backup support, finances, manpower, and then he had the backing. The things that were smuggled out of his house, there were people who were helping him out to carry out the explosive. Therefore, he was not a lone wolf. He had a backup support also. And to this go by default, I for one would not like to believe. I would expect it. I'm very disappointed today. I had expected greater surveillance on all of these bad characters.
Yes.
In fact, there should be man-to-man marking of every person. And rest assured, there are going to be more arrests, Gauravji, when we assemble again. Rest assured, there are going to be more arrests in this case.
Because this is now the reputation of the Tamil Nadu police and the state at stake. Pramod, 1998 Coimbatore serial blast killed close to 60 people, injured more than 200. Apparently was called Operation Allahu Akbar. Car bomb, cycle bomb, motorcycle bomb, along with suspected suicide bombers. Now, any parallel being drawn with this Kottai Eswaran temple targeting 24 years later?
Gaurav, it looks like more than a parallel with the Coimbatore blast of 1998. It has more parallel effects with the suicide bombings or in Sri Lanka, that too on Easter, because that particular day was chosen for it's a festival. And the same day, this was a day before Diwali. And the second one was, this was a place of worship. In fact, DGP earlier, the Sailendra Babu, who spoke on it, stated that after Kottai Eswaran, there was a check post, and possibly for this Mubin tried to abandon the vehicle over there, because after the check post, 300 meters away, there is one more temple called as Konni Amman temple, just like Sai Kiran said, and that's in a very prominent area. And if this blast has occurred there somewhere around 8 a.m. in the morning, guaranteed a lot of lives would have been lost. So this modus operandi looks more like that of what had occurred in Sri Lanka on an Easter Sunday, more than a parallel with the Coimbatore bombings of 1998.
Sai Kiran, why are links being drawn, and give us more details of this link being drawn with the Sri Lanka Easter Sunday church attack? Is it only because that was a church, this was a temple, that was Easter, this was Diwali, or are any of the people also common, those who are radicalizing these elements?
There's a lot of connection, not just with regards to it being a day, it's a Sunday or it's a festival time. But there's a lot of connections. So if you were to take a step back and look at the work that NIA has done over the past few years, and it's all available in the public domain. The amount of raids that they've carried out in this Kasaragod area in Kerala, and Coimbatore, Trichy, Sivagangai, and all of these parts in Tamil Nadu, there's a lot of connections there. So I would like to point out three key figures here. One is, of course, Muhammad Azharuddin, who is currently lodged in the Cochin jail. Secondly, there was this person who was arrested called Riaz Abubakar, who went by the name of Abu Dujana, who was also actively recruiting people to be part of the Islamic State. And he was actually doing it on Facebook until, the NIA picked up and, arrested him. So these people were, go back a long way. And then, when you learn that, initial investigations suggest that, Mubin was in touch with people like Azharuddin, and then Azharuddin is the key link here, because he was heavily influenced by Zaran Hashim, who was the mastermind of the Easter bombing attacks. And Zaran Hashim, from 2011, he's almost like a Zakir Naik of this part of the world. He's very influential with regards to people in the south of India. His influence was also seen in Singapore when a couple of years back there were arrests, and they had a lot of jihadi literature, and it was all pointing to influence by this person Zaran Hashim. So when he planned this entire Easter bombing attacks, he was one of the suicide bombers himself. And you can see the parallels running. It's the same philosophy, it's the same way of thinking. And no wonder they're planning. They're probably planning a similar attack of a larger scale. And secondly, it's definitely with all these modules, it's definitely not going to be a lone wolf operation at all. There'll be so many people who probably not even been arrested, and they're just waiting like sleeper cells, and they're probably waiting for some other optimum time to attack. So yeah, that's what I get in terms of looking at this. The
sleeper cells truly are the enemies within. They live amongst us, and they plot to kill our people, and we'll be tracking the story very, very closely. Now it remains to be seen whether the NIA is able to go after these sleeper cells without political interference, in this case of vote bank politics. To all my guests for joining me here on this India Today special, many thanks. There's breaking news that's coming in from Telangana. There is a twist in the Telangana bipole story. The police say there was an attempt to purchase TRS MLAs, and this is a statement being made by the Cyberabad police. The Cyberabad police in a statement have said that 3 people are trying to lure TRS MLAs with cash, with checks and with contracts. The Cyberabad police, they've actually conducted a search at a farmhouse in Aziz Nagar area late this evening, and on India Today we are getting you images of the search operations at that farmhouse. After that search, the Cyberabad police have said the police got people red-handed, including a hotelier and 2 others. Now this hotelier is from Delhi, the others are from Delhi, who had come allegedly to buy TRS MLAs. Police say that TRS MLAs had tipped them off about this poaching bid, saying they were offered money, contracts and posts. The police have named the accused Ramchandra Bharti alias Satish Sharma, associated with a temple in Faridabad and living in Delhi, Nand Kumar of Hyderabad and another person from Tirupati, who are reported to have, at least that is what the police claim, offered cash and contracts and posts if the TRS MLAs agreed to defect. The TRS claims there is a BJP hand in this bid to buy their MLAs. Listen in.
మళ్ళీ బ్రీఫ్ ఫ్యాక్ట్స్ సార్ లోపల ఉన్న వాళ్ళ పేర్లు ఏంటి సార్? మీకు నేను డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని కూడా ఎప్పటికప్పుడు చేసి మనకి ఏమైనా డీటెయిల్స్ వస్తే మీకు తెలియజేయడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఎమ్మెల్యేలే మనకి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. టీఆర్ఎస్ ఎమ్మెల్యేస్ ఇక్కడ మమ్మల్ని ఎవరు వచ్చి, అంటే ఈ ముగ్గురు వచ్చి మమ్మల్ని ప్రలోభ పెడతా ఉన్నారు, డబ్బు ఎరా చూపెడతా ఉన్నారు, కాంట్రాక్ట్లు ఎరా చూపెడతా ఉన్నారు, మరియు పదవులు కూడా ఎర్ర చూపెట్టి మమ్మల్ని పార్టీ ఫిరాయింపు చేయమని ఇక్కడ ప్రలోభ పెడతా ఉన్నారని ఆ పర్టికులర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకి ఇచ్చారు. దానికి సంబంధించి ఈ రోజు చెక్ చేస్తే మనకి ఈ డీటెయిల్స్ ఇక్కడ అజీజ్ నగర్ అంటే మొయినాబాద్ దగ్గర ఒక ఫామ్ హౌస్లో మనకి ఇక్కడ కొందరు సమావేశం అయ్యారని ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వచ్చింది. ఇందులోని ప్రధానంగా మనము ఈ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకి సమాచారము టిఆర్ఎస్ ఎమ్మెల్యేస్ మనకి ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది. ఇక్కడ వాళ్ళని ప్రలోభ పెడుతున్నారని చెప్పి డబ్బు, ఇంకా కాంట్రాక్ట్స్ మరియు ఇతర పదవులు ఇస్తానని వాళ్ళని ప్రలోభ పెడుతున్నారని మనకి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చారు. మరి ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీద మనము ఈరోజు వచ్చి ఈ ఫామ్ హౌస్లోని మనము రేడ్ చేస్తే ఇక్కడ ముగ్గురు కనపడ్డారు. ఇందులో మనకి ప్రధానం.
And India Today's Abdul Bashir now joins me for more on this story. Abdul, what more do we know about the three men who've now been taken into custody? Who owns that farmhouse? What were these men doing there? What kind of cash has been recovered?
See, ahead of this Munugodu bypoll, which is said to be a semi-final for the Telangana state upcoming assembly elections, there is a massive political war. One such incident has taken place in Aziz Nagar of Moinabad, where in a farmhouse, a group of people, three persons that have called these TRS MLAs, 4 MLAs, asking them, at least what the police has to say is that they have asked, provided money and also offered post and along with the post, they have said that they will be given contract by the party and they have asked to shift the party. So now the TRS MLAs has informed this to the police, went to the farmhouse there, and then police had raided the farmhouse where reportedly cash has been seized in crores. That is what we are getting to know. But the police has not given the amount of cash that has been seized or disclosed any details about the cash. But
Abdul,
yes,
keep
3
tracking
people
that story.
have been arrested. The TRS has alleged these 3 men to be aides of...
I will come back to you for more, but for the moment, that is all I have time for on India First this evening.